What's going on, guys? Snake Guys here doing part 1 of 2 trailer analysis on Bloodborne. I'm not using just one trailer, I'm actually using 2 trailers plus some leaked footage, so I'm pretty much going to just blend them all in and mix them all up. And I've kind of been holding this off for a while, mainly because I really didn't know how I'm going to do it, so pretty much I just stopped thinking about it and I'm going to do it, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. The main reason why I didn't know how I was going to do it is mainly because there's actually a lot in the trailers that they've shown you, and to really just sit there and pick apart everything that you see kind of made it a little difficult. So like I said, I'm just going to go with what I feel like is right, and hopefully everything comes out okay. So going off of the gameplay trailer that we've seen so far, we start off with this area, which I'm assuming is going to be the beginning area, if not one of the starter areas in the game. The reason I say that is because as he's walking out of the gate, you kind of see a town or a castle of some sort kind of on top of a hill, and I'm assuming that it's one of the later areas that is also shown to us later on. And right off the bat, you can kind of see how the environment and the whole atmosphere is kind of just already getting a little dark before you even get to that area. So that's kind of something that I really am excited about. And this is an occurring theme. This is something that is always going to be shown, and that's pretty much what they've been showing us so far. And as the trailer progresses, you see the player character running through the level, and right after that you get to see him fighting, I guess, what would be the equivalent to regular undead soldiers. Pretty much they're beast people, beast town folk or whatever. And right off the bat you see the use of the shotgun. Now I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the shotgun in this video. The next video I'll touch down on that a little bit more. But continuing on, you also see the character not using the shotgun no more. He's actually dual wielding from the looks of it, and he's actually fighting a bigger enemy than regular townsfolk. And that's kind of something that you're gonna see a lot in these clips that I'm showing you. Pretty much the character is using different weapons almost all the time, and one common thing with all these weapons is that they're all very offensive. Now the first set of weapons that he's using is the shotgun and a sword combo, and then the second one is the dual wielding combo. Like I said, both of them look like they can do some really heavy damage, and he's also using it against a pretty big enemy. And another area that is shown very briefly, but it's kind of something that I'm actually looking forward to, is a very foggy area, which I'm assuming is a connecting area because of the enemy that's actually in here. He's using the same weapon as the one that you just saw, which looks like he's kind of holding a brick, and the other one looks like he's kind of holding a brick as well. So I'm kind of assuming that these two areas are very close together, and it also kind of ties into the theme with one another, with this one looking like it has a whole bunch of tombs, and then the other area looking like it has a whole bunch of tombstones. So that's kind of where I get that. And then right after that you see an enemy that is pretty much the same size as the last two. The only difference with this one is that he's actually using a I forgot what it's called, so I'm just going to say it's a halberd class weapon, because that's pretty much what it is. But like I said, I kind of forgot. It's in Dark Souls 2, but I forgot the name of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip that. Coming up, you see the player character actually blocking an attack from the crow person, or not a crow person, but an actual pretty big crow. Now, I got 2 things out of this. One is he's actually using an axe on his right hand now, but 2 is, even though he's dual wielding, he can still block. So that's kind of something that might be a new mechanic. Even though you're dual wielding, you still have the ability to defend yourself. So that's actually kind of really cool. And a little bit later on within the same area, you actually see this monster. I really don't know what to make of it, and just playing it over and over again, I really can't tell you exactly what it is. So I'm not even really going to try, because in all honesty, I'd rather admit that I don't know what it is than try to take a guess at it, because at the same time, it could be something that we probably never even seen or heard of. And this area is actually where I actually tie in 2 different clips. Now you can see this area right here, and it's kind of dark. It's not very well lit, and you kind of see all these candles just being lit as he's walking through the area. And then pretty much what I ended up doing was grabbing a clip from the cinematic trailer that they shown, and this is what I'm guessing is the area that it's supposed to be, mainly because he's walking around, and like I said, it's very, very dark. But towards the end of everything, you see all these candles right here, kind of just right there waiting to be lit. So I'm assuming that these 2 areas are kind of tied in together. And then a little bit later on, you kind of see the beast head that's being shown sitting on the throne. And this is actually towards the end of the entire trailer itself. A beast kind of comes out from the darkness, slaps down on the player character, and that pretty much cuts the trailer right then and there. You can kind of check that one out. I think I got it on my channel, so that way you can kind of check it out yourself. And that pretty much segues well into what I want to talk about next, which is torches. Now, they're bringing torches back in this game, and it seems like torches are actually going to serve a pretty decent purpose. From what we've seen so far, it looks like torches are not going to be needed all the time in dark areas, but they are definitely going to be needed in some areas. But not only that, in this next clip you see what I'm assuming is oil being thrown at a regular enemy in the game. And not only that, you see the player character actually using the torch as an offensive weapon, pretty much lighting the enemy on fire. So that's pretty much telling me that torches are going to serve more than one purpose in this game, even if it's just to light things on fire, more specifically enemies, rather than like other torches and whatnot. That's still a positive for me, because in all honesty, I would rather walk around in the dark than waste a slot or a one-handed slot carrying a torch in Dark Souls 2. So being shown something where the torch actually serves more than one purpose is actually something that I really liked, and I thought I'd point that out. This next thing, I actually caught two things that I wanted to point out. One of them is, it looks like the player character is actually using a sword to unlock an area maybe. I'm assuming that the door right behind him is actually a fog gate, but that could just be something that is making it look like that. The reason I say that is because the next thing that you see is your player character, and he's pretty much drenched in blood, and I'll get into that a little bit later, maybe in the next video. But not only that, he's walking towards a fog gate, and I actually really like what they did as far as the texture goes with this fog gate. You can actually see some of the, I guess, the souls of people kind of reaching out, and like I said, that could be just purely just for looks, but at the same time I really like what they did on that, and I thought that was pretty awesome. The last and final thing that I'm going to be talking about in this part 1 of the video is, even though that there are guns and this is set in a more modern time, it's looking like magic still has an influence over the land, with these enemies that you see right here, with one of them looking like he's doing some dark magic, another one looking like he's shooting out some pyromancy, and this third one right here, which I really don't know what to make of it. He could be just a standard enemy, but it's probably a boss. I'm not too sure. And one of his attacks looks like it shot out a little bit of electricity. So seeing those different elements, it's pretty much safe to assume that all different types of magics and sorceries and miracles and whatnot are still going to be in this game. And in all honesty, I'm actually kind of hyped for that, because that continues to add different variety to this game. And overall, I'm thinking builds are going to start being a lot more interesting, especially if they bring back some form of soul level. Obviously, it's not going to be soul level with this game. It's going to be their form of a soul level. But if they bring that back, then I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of unique and different builds that a lot of people are going to be trying. And that's kind of something that I'm really excited about. These next 4 things, in all honesty, I'm not sure if they're related to Bloodborne. Basically, I went on the website, and these guys are claiming that these are actually concept art from what is supposedly Bloodborne stuff. So these last little bits, if I were you, I would kind of take it lightly. I included it anyways on the off chance that it actually is related to Bloodborne. But like I said, if it's not shown up, pretty much the source that I got it from could be wrong. And like I said, I would really just take it lightly. And I'm actually going to take this time and show different screenshots and whatnot to kind of touch down on the different weapons, and more specifically the guns that are shown in this game. A lot of people have been pretty concerned on stuff like that, and in all honesty, I don't think it's going to be as overpowered as people think it is, mainly because they actually did an interview with Miyazaki a while back. I think it was a Japanese interview, and pretty much what they were saying then is that they pretty much questioned him and asked him what the meaning of the guns were, and he pretty much said that guns around this time were something that he wanted to include because it would kind of be fitting. But the gun is not going to be something like a ranged thing that people can kind of just spam from a distance. He really wanted the shotgun to be something that actually keeps them back to kind of stagger him. One thing that he said that he really wanted in this game was he wanted people to actually take a more aggressive approach with this. He wanted people to actually get involved, and if you really pay attention to the trailers and everything that you see, even though you see the character using different weapons in pretty much different clips of the game, if you really pay attention and you really think about it, all these weapons are actually really offensive. Now, you see it with the shotgun in one hand and the sword in the other. The shotgun being used to stagger while the sword is using to cut him down. You see it while he's dual wielding, looks like two regular swords. You see it when he's, I'm assuming that was a shotgun on his left hand and a battle axe in his right hand. And in the next video, you're going to see a two-handed great axe. All of these weapons are very, very offensive weapons, and in all honesty, that's actually something that's really refreshing. Most of the Souls games, or actually all of the Souls games, pretty much train the player to block an attack and then hit when the enemy gives an opening. This game, he said it himself, you're going to be fighting more and more hordes of enemy. Now, I'm pretty sure he's not going to spam it with, 10 or 15 enemies and pretty much just let them overrun you. But what I'm thinking he's going to do is pretty much just keep it to where you have an offensive mentality only. And if you really think about it, that actually translates pretty well, because if you start training people to be really, really offensive and to really not hang back and kind of turtle their way through the game, if you translate that into PvP, then that means you're pretty much going to get people who have played the story mode and gone through it really good and still have that mentality of offense, offense, and offense. And that's actually going to provide a lot of relief for everybody. Mainly because if you play PvP nowadays, pretty much everybody's wearing heavy armor, they're turtling behind great shields, and that's pretty much the PvP scenario. But with this game, if they teach people from the get-go how to play offensively and to not be afraid to actually go in there and get some hits, then if you translate it to PvP, I'm pretty sure everything is going to be good. A lot of people are going to start being more offensive. Granted that there's still probably going to be heavy armor and there's still going to be stuff like that where people can turtle. That's inevitable and that's always going to happen. He's not going to get rid of it 100%, but what he's trying to do is actually just minimize it to where people aren't afraid to actually go in and get their stuff done. Another thing that people were kind of talking to me about was the character model. Now, from what people were saying is they were afraid that it's just going to be a straight story mode. That's the character you're going to play as, and that's what it is. That's not true neither. He actually said that you can pick your character any which way you want, customize it pretty much any which way you want, and from what I'm going off of, it's probably going to be just as in-depth, if not even more, than the Souls games that we got now. Keep in mind that the player character looks exactly the same in all the models. Is because you need one steady face in all the trailers, so that way people can kind of know what the deal is. Now in Dark Souls 2 they did that with the Ferrum Knight, and in Dark Souls 1 they did that with the Elite Knight. Looking back on them now, those are just standard armor classes and whatever, and with this one I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same deal. This is going to be just an armor that you're probably going to get later in the game. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that he's the main protagonist and that's what it is. They just need pretty much a poster child for the game, and that's who they ended up picking. But that's pretty much going to wrap up part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. That's going to actually come out tomorrow because I need to work on it just a little bit more. One thing before I go is I actually made a Twitter account. I'm pretty new to Twitter. I didn't really do Twitter or Facebook and whatnot, but seeing that my channel's been growing at a pretty decent rate, I decided to kind of open up different ways that you can kind of contact me in. And like I said, not being a big user on Twitter, I'm still kind of new to it. But you can follow me if you want. Be patient because I'm still very new to it. But I figured I might as well, because if there are a different way that you want to contact me, maybe for whatever reason you can't reach me on YouTube, you can go ahead and send me a message on Twitter and whatnot, and I'll reply to that as soon as I can. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description so that way if you want you can go ahead and follow me, but if not, then that's cool. Other than that, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 2, which is going to be coming out tomorrow. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, take care.